What do you hear? What do you say? My name's Chris. Thanks for joining me today. Today, I wanted to take a closer look at the Eagles' first 8 weeks of the season. Now, not a lot's going on in the NFL right now. All is quiet. We're all still hoping the Eagles can find a legitimate cornerback to play alongside Darius Slay. However, we haven't really heard too much regarding that. Hopefully something happens in the next coming weeks. It would really be a big upgrade if Eagles can add one legitimate cornerback. Our defense is not that bad. We have a really good defensive line. So if we could just add a legitimate cornerback, I really think it could really help this defense be able to keep us in games. And I do think our offense is going to be able to score, so I think it will make us a much better team. We'll see what happens. I do believe Howie's going to make some kind of move. Don't know when, but hopefully soon, and we'll find out. And we'll talk about it once it does happen. But I wanted to take a closer look at these first 8 weeks because I really think they're going to be a challenge for the Eagles with a new coaching staff, basically a new starting quarterback. We're not going to count last year for Jalen Hurts. Doug Peterson's gone now too. It's a whole new offense. Everything's going to be different. We don't really know exactly how it's going to look. However, I really love Devontae Smith. I really think we have talent on this offense. I really do. I really think it's better than people think. Our offensive line so far, it looks like it's going to be healthy. And if it's healthy, I think we have a very good offensive line. Even if some of those guys are a little older. But Lane Johnson's only 30. I do believe Kelsey can still play. And I believe Brandon Brooks can bounce back. He's shown he's done it before. Can he stay healthy? That's another question that we will find out. Anyways, let's take a look at these games. Which games are winnable? Right now, I really don't have the Eagles starting off good in my predictions. When I'm honest, I look at it and I'm being real, I think it's going to take a while for the Eagles to really get going with a new coach. But you never know. Look at how Eagles played with Chip Kelly. They came out of the gate swinging. We were supposed to be last in that division. We came out, punched Washington in the mouth, and we went on to win the division that year. I think we were 11-5, 10-6, something like that. So I do believe that same type of thing is possible. But I do believe we may see a slow start to the season. And when that happens, if that happens, don't give up on the Eagles. We're in a weak division. This division will be winnable. And we'll be in the fight for the division all the way to the end of the season, in my opinion. Now, I want to take a look at these first 8 games and what games. This is how I really see it playing out. Now, I can be wrong, but I wanted to take a look at some of my picks and see what's winnable and what's not. And the games that I don't really see winnable, we're just going to ignore those and then talk about the ones that are winnable. So I do have us losing to Atlanta because we just tend to lose in Atlanta. But that is a winnable game. Let's be real. Atlanta was not a great team last year. They were worse than the Eagles. Yes, they added a tight end in Kyle Pitts, but they lost Julio Jones. It may take them a while. That is a winnable game. And if we do win that game, I will be really pumped because that's a game I was not really expecting us to have. Now, San Francisco is a hard game too, but I do believe we're going to be a tough home team, and I do believe that game is winnable too. Now, Dallas, I do think we're going to split this season series with Dallas. But that game at Dallas is also winnable, even though I have us losing right now. Why? Because it may take Dak Prescott several weeks to really get going. We don't know. I don't know how he's going to respond. He might come out swinging. Maybe he will. Maybe he won't. But any division game in any season is winnable. It's just the way it is. Even when we won the Super Bowl, we barely beat the New York Giants, and they stunk that year. It took a 60-yard field goal to beat the Giants. So any game in the division is winnable. Kansas City, I'm just going to put a lock for that loss because I just don't see us beating that team. It may be the best team in the NFL. We'll see. Carolina, I believe, is winnable. And I actually have us winning that game. Tampa Bay, I'm just going to put a lock too because they're the Super Bowl champs. I think they're only going to be better next year. Another season under his belt. Tom Brady's amazing. I'm not even going to look closely at that game. Las Vegas, I hope to be at that game. I do live here in Las Vegas, so we'll see how that works. But right now, I don't see us winning it, but I think it's winnable. And maybe if I go there, we'll get a little good luck. At Detroit, that's a winnable game too. We tend to struggle in Detroit, so I had us losing that game too. So really, 6 of these games are winnable, even though they're going to be difficult. Or actually, I should say 1, 2, 3, 4 of these losses are winnable that I had us losing in the first 8 weeks. Now, if we could just win like 2 more of those, and if we could just go 4-4 those first 8 weeks, I really like our chances to win the division. I have looked at everyone else's schedule in the NFC East. They're not easy. Their schedules are harder than ours. Washington's schedule is brutal. So we just need to stay in the hunt. We just need to win a couple games. And so out of these 4 losses that are winnable, which ones are we most likely to be able to steal? I'm thinking if we could split one of these 2 games at Las Vegas or at Detroit, I would think that the one game that I really think we could steal better is the one in Las Vegas. I think we could steal that game and turn that into a win. Maybe. I'm hoping. And then that's three wins in the first 8 weeks. That's still better than 2 that I had. And we could possibly steal a game from Atlanta. It's really hard though to see that just because we struggled so much. Maybe if we added a cornerback, I would like that more. I do think out of Dallas and Atlanta we could steal another one of those 2 games. If we could steal one of those 2 games, I'm just gonna say Dallas because it may take Dak Prescott a few weeks to get going, and it's a division rival, and you never know how those games could go. So if we could finish 4-4 the first 8 weeks, I really like our chances going forward. So anyways, right now I have the Eagles going 9-8. I have them finishing the season off strong. I do have them splitting with Washington and Dallas. I do have us beating the Giants twice. That could be a split, I'll be real, but we tend to own the Giants. So until the Giants really change that momentum, I'm just going to pencil it in as a win. Why not? I do think the Eagles are going to be better than people think this year. Chargers is going to be a tough game, but that's at home. I like our home games. The Saints, no Drew Brees. I think that's a winnable game too. So we'll see how that plays out. I really think the Eagles have a chance to make the playoffs this year in a weak division. And it is weak. So let's be real. Every team in the NFC East has significant weaknesses somewhere on their team that make them a team that you can beat on any given week. And the Eagles have the easiest schedule in the NFC East by far. So, but that first 8 weeks is pretty difficult. But if you could just go 4-4, that would be huge. Now I see the Eagles being a good offense this year. I think their defense still has some major holes in that secondary that is going to cost us games. Our linebacking core is average at best. I would still love to add another linebacker, but we'll see. It's a new coaching staff. We'll see how that happens. Giants last year with a new coach, they came on the second half of the year, almost made the playoffs. until we gave Washington the division, which we did. We gave the Washington division. Washington fans, I hear from them all the time. They have a lot of good pieces on that team, but I don't know. I feel like they're ignoring the quarterback position. And they do have a really difficult schedule, but they have that monster defensive line that can really cause havoc. So we'll see what happens. If they can, it's going to be tough in that schedule. That's why teams don't usually repeat as division champ in the NFC East. They just don't. It's difficult to do. So we'll see how that plays out. I'm really excited about the season. I'm going to have a lot more content during the season. A lot of things planned. Right now it's just quiet, so just kind of been going with the flow, looking for things to talk about as not much is happening right now. Anyways, that's all I got for today, guys. Hope you all have a great one. The first 8 weeks are going to be fun. We'll see what happens. I'd be happy with a 500 record to start. But even if we have a 2-6 start, I still think we have a shot to get going and to win the division later in the year, because we are in the weakest division in the NFL. Anyways, thanks, guys. Talk to you later.